Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving into a really powerful idea, how you can build actual wealth and make a positive impact on the world, even if you're working with a small budget. It's all about making your money work for you and for the planet.
I know. It might sound like a bit of a stretch, right? But that's the real question we're digging into. Can the small, kind of everyday financial moves we make actually add up to something huge? Well, the answer is a huge yes, and it is way simpler than you probably think.
For the longest time, investing felt like this exclusive club. It had a super high price of admission. It was complicated, it was expensive, and honestly, it often felt totally disconnected from our personal values. But a new model is completely flipping that on its head. Sustainable micro-investing is low cost, it's super accessible, and it's built from the ground up to align your portfolio with what you actually care about.
So let's talk about this dilemma that, let's be honest, a lot of us feel. We have this desire to grow our money, to secure our future, right? But it feels like we keep running into two massive roadblocks. These high financial barriers and that nagging question of where our money is really going.
Yeah, this probably sounds pretty familiar. When you're juggling student debt, you're paying rent, and you're just trying to keep up with the cost of, well, everything, the idea that you need thousands of dollars just to get in the game, it feels totally out of reach. It's been a huge barrier that's locked a whole lot of people out for a long time.
But here's the thing. Something really fascinating is happening. We're seeing this massive cultural shift where personal values and financial decisions are no longer two separate things. And this isn't just about buying from ethical brands anymore, it's about investing in them too.
And look, the data backs this up in a huge way. A 2024 Deloitte survey found that a staggering 76% of Gen Z and 72% of millennials are putting sustainability right at the forefront of their financial lives. This is not some niche trend. This is a full-blown generational demand for a better way to invest.
Okay, so we've talked about the why, this huge desire for investing that's both accessible and ethical. Now let's get into the what. How does this whole thing actually work? Well, the answer is in this really powerful framework called ESG.
And make no mistake, this is a massive, massive financial force. We're not talking about some tiny corner of the market. The global ESG investing space is projected to be worth over $35 trillion by the end of 2025. This is Wall Street and Main Street coming together in a really big way.
So what even is ESG? It's actually a pretty simple but brilliant framework. E is for environmental. How does a company impact the planet? Think carbon emissions, resource management. S is for social. How does it treat people, its employees, its customers, the community? And G is for governance. How is the company actually run? We're talking transparency, leadership. It's basically a scorecard for corporate responsibility. Now, it's a powerful tool for sure, but it is a space where not all green labels are created equal, so doing a little homework goes a long way.
Okay, and this is maybe the most crucial point. ESG investing isn't about donating your money or giving up returns. This quote just captures it perfectly. It's savvy capitalism. It's a strategy built on a really simple, powerful idea. Companies that are good at managing environmental risks, that treat their people well, and that have transparent leadership, well, they're often less volatile, they attract better talent, and they're just flat-out better-run businesses. And that makes them smarter long-term investments.
All right, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually get started? Let's switch gears into the practical part of this explainer and build a concrete plan you can literally use today.
Here it is, your simple 5-step roadmap. First, and I mean this is the most important part, define your values. Seriously, just take a minute. What issues get you fired up? Is it fighting climate change? Promoting fair labor practices? Pushing for gender equality? Knowing your why is going to be your compass for everything else. Second, pick your tools. And don't worry, we're getting to those in a sec. Third, automate your investing. Even $5 a week adds up like crazy when you're consistent. Fourth, diversify your impact across different companies and themes. And finally, number 5, track and rebalance your portfolio as your goals and, the world change over time.
The real game changer in all of this, it's technology. There's this new wave of investing apps that has just completely opened up the process, making it possible for literally anyone with a smartphone to start building ethical wealth. So let's look at 5 of the big players here. You can see how they stack up. If you just want to start really small, Acorns is perfect for that spare change roundup style of investing. If you want a more hands-on approach, something like M1 Finance lets you build your own custom portfolios, and they have 0 monthly fees.
And if you're like me and you just prefer to automate things, robo-advisors like Wealthfront and Betterment have these really sophisticated ESG portfolios with super low management fees. The barrier to entry? It's pretty much gone.
Okay, but what about performance? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There's this common myth that you have to sacrifice your returns to invest ethically. But as you can see here, the data often tells a completely different story. Over a 5-year period, M1 Finance's ESG portfolios didn't just keep up with the S&P 500, they actually outperformed it. Turns out, doing good can be really, really good for your wallet.
And it's not just about the growth, it's about protection too. This shows another key benefit perfectly: resilience. During a market slump in early 2025, Wealthfront's socially responsible portfolio held up way better than the broader market. And why is that? Well, it's because companies with strong ESG practices are often just built to weather storms better, which makes them more stable investments when things get a little rocky.
And just to drive the point home, here's one more piece of evidence. Betterment's portfolio that's focused specifically on climate impact also beat the market over a 3-year average. This just goes to show that even when you narrow your focus to a specific theme you really care about, like green technology, strong performance can absolutely follow.
So here's the bottom line. The barriers have been torn down. With low-cost apps, fractional shares, and all these automated tools, the ability to build wealth that actually aligns with your values is no longer some privilege for the few. It's accessible to everyone, right here, right now.
You know, every single dollar you invest is a vote. It's a vote for the kind of world that you want to live in. It's a choice between the way things are and a more sustainable, more equitable future. The question isn't if you can make a difference with your investments anymore. The question is, how will you choose to?